I used to only be able to do 10 push-ups in a row before I needed a break. So now I'm trying to add push-ups to my workout routine because I want to get stronger and I also want to run more efficiently. It would also be nice to not have these noodle arms. So I'm doing this Burly Gains workout where they do animal push-ups. It's like 100 of them in 5 minutes. I like them better than normal push-ups because they work out the delts and like the rhomboids and all these other body parts and even the core. So I just really feel it everywhere. But it's such a challenge to get myself to really get through these 100. So I start out with like 30 and then I go down to like 20 and then I just try to finish it out. So maybe like 10 and then 5 and then just repeating that over and over. So I don't really know if this is actually the best way to do it, but it helps me to move forward in this process of getting stronger. I also do these ab workouts from Chris Heria because I like the challenge of building a strong core. That'll help me to run more efficiently. And also, I just want to have those nice six-pack abs. I mean, who doesn't want a great core? Anyway, I had to do some running, so I did that. I really don't like running in the cold, but I have to do it sometimes. It really helps to build that mental toughness. I almost just tripped and fell over this piece of ice. Yeah, these gloves are actually not warm enough. It's like 20 degrees, 30 degrees maybe. Feeling like I'm getting frostbite. It got too cold, so I eventually went inside to finish out this run. It wasn't really at any set pace. And I really feel like the treadmill is the worst mentally. Now I'm doing more of these core exercises because I'm trying to get my hips stronger. My core is very weak, my hips are very tight. I feel like doing daily core should be doable. Man, all right, so that was pretty hard. I can barely lift more than like 20 pounds. Here's 25 pounds. It was actually pretty hard to lift. Yeah, I need to work on that. What everyone tells me is that I have to lift heavier weights so I can run more efficiently without wasting so much energy. I'm gonna have to start working on that. So on days like this, what I usually do is check the charts, of course, because there's always a challenge going on. There's always a new account to get funded. Then I have to go to school and pack my stuff to do that because I actually am working remotely in an internship. But then when I go to school, which is like during the lunch break, I have to make sure that I have everything because I usually stay until the end of the workday and then go right to class. It's so cold and I don't have any gloves. Maybe I do actually. Yeah, I got one. That's good. Right, it looks like it's starting to snow. So when I got to school, I had to go to this building to basically have food and then make sure that I was able to meet with the career office. I also took some inspiration in terms of content because I always got to make sure that I'm learning stuff. So after that, I ate. I'm trying to really eat more healthy because my diet really needs a lot of change. It's really important to be disciplined in all aspects of life. If you're gonna have junk, then don't have too much of it. That's a little bit of junk I had, but that's fine. I then had to go and actually do some work. I really like libraries. I feel like whether you're at like school or in public, you should always find a nice library to work at. Libraries are a dying breed. But after I did my work, I looked at some stuff online because there's always learning to do when it comes to the business space and the online space. I found this guy, FitX Fearless. Apparently what he does is he teaches young men how to level up in life basically in some different areas. I found it to be pretty interesting actually. I watched some of his stuff. Then I also tried to figure out like, okay, what's the main point of this? And like, what is he actually doing? What's going on behind the scenes with this guy? How is he making his money? I feel like there's so many different ways to make money. There's so many different opportunities in tech also. Like, I'm in these different groups on Discord where people are talking about all these apps they make and all these different strategies they have for making content, editing content. And so for me, it's all about learning, because this stuff is always going to be important regardless of whatever's going on in school. So for the whole winter time, I was actually going to run 2 races, but then I found out that I couldn't because I had scheduling issues. Also, I had these hip issues. So I went to the physical therapist, and she told me that my hips are very tight and my hips are kind of shifting. And I also have an issue with my spine. So I have to do a lot of extra stretching. I thought it would be safer to actually take time to train for a race and make sure that I'm in the best shape possible instead of trying to push through that and then like injure myself more. So basically, my hips are shifted inward, my spine is sticking out a bit, my hamstrings are weak because they're overworking just to hold up my body. So it's like this weird cycle where my body is just not in like the best shape. Okay, so I'm working on overcoming my social anxiety right now because there's a lady right across the street staring at me as I record this. So I found a race. It's going to be in July. It'll be a half marathon. So I'll run that first and then hopefully see how that goes, try to get a new PR and try to actually stick to the training plan. I haven't actually stuck to a training plan for any of these races that I've done. So I really want to give it a good effort and actually do that. That'll also help me to work on my discipline, which I really need to work on a whole lot. We're gonna see how this goes. It'll be a journey. It'll be something to work at, something that will benefit my life. And I hope to see a lot of growth from this. So we'll see how it goes. I'll be giving some updates, but yeah, now is the start of that journey of growth and discipline and actually making sure I hit the times.